Hello and thank you for joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Benga Oreshegun. Today on the program. Ahead of 2027 elections, Peter Obi submits single tenure proposal to opposition coalition. Defense headquarters confirms killing of notorious terrorist kingpin Yellow Dabunkolo takes delivery of 84 CNG-powered vehicles to enhance operations. And later on the show, Governor Ayedatiwa's plan to probe late Governor Akeredolu's death sparks uproar as leaders warn against exhumation, describe move as divisive and unnecessary. Well, I'll be hanging out with Mojid Jamiu and Asukwo James. Journalist Hangout starts right now. So let's begin the conversation. After weeks of stench, silence, and sealed gates, the Lagos State government has finally reopened the Okoba abattoir, but only after it was scrubbed back to sanity and met with strict sanitation standards. The abattoir was shut down last month due to poor hygiene practices, environmental violations, and mounting public health concerns. Following a series of inspections by environmental health officers, sanitation experts, and government task force officials, the facility has now been cleared to resume operations. Officials confirmed that significant improvements were made, including proper waste disposal systems, fumigation of the premises, and mandatory health training for all workers. Mojid, let's begin this way. Maybe just to refresh our memory, what were the specific sanitation violations that led to the closure? And do you think there are enough reasons, the reasons for the closure have been addressed, before it was considered for reopening?
I've been to that abattoir several times, and the one at Kara. But this particular one at that abattoir in at Okoba, yes. Abulegba, it's an eyesore. And it was a disaster waiting to happen. Absolutely. In terms of health hazards. And while the two main reasons while the place was shut down, they were discharging animal feces and waste right into the public canals, drains. That's number one. Number two, they were sleeping with animals, as in sleeping very close to.
Yes.
I don't mean.
I understand. I understand.
I mean, animals. I mean, they were sleeping where animals were supposed to be laying. I mean, you can imagine. So, for them, they might be used to it, but if they come in contact of people in town, True. Or those who go there, innocently to interact with a marketer to purchase, to transact business, they can easily, you can see on the screen how they were sleeping. So it's cow dung and what have you,
the blood, everything
everywhere. So unhygienic and very dirty environment. But I think reason has prevailed after our very vibrant,
I like that part.
Commissioner for
he's my favorite
for the environment.
Tokunbo Wahab. Yes, very vibrant.
It went there and it was like, this can't happen. But today we thank God. Like I said, reason has prevailed.
Yes.
I've seen a video of how clean and neat the place is now. And in fact, the leaders of the abattoir apologized to the state government and promised that kind of dirty environment and discharging of waste into this thing will never happen again.
Asukwo, should it take a shutdown before something as basic as hygiene standards are enforced. In a place as critical as an abattoir, should it take until when it's shut down? That's when the right thing can only be done?
Because most times that is the only language that most Nigerians understand.
But it shouldn't be.
Yeah, yes, you should do. That is the normal thing.
Exactly.
You understand? But it took the intervention of the Lagos State government for this to happen. For people to know that they have to keep where food, because if meat is food.
Yeah, exactly.
Where food, is being processed.
Sure.
Has to be clean. Because look at all the things that the reasons that we are giving. Animal waste being dumped into the canal and drainage, and then the human beings sleeping in pens where cows are being kept. It doesn't look good, and it doesn't even. It's not something people should hear.
True.
So it's good enough that the leaders of the market have decided that henceforth they will keep that place clean. I saw a video of how the place is right now. And then even the ministry has also said that every month they'll be going there to check.
I mean, surprise inspection.
Yes, go there and check if they are keeping to these standards and these rules and regulations. Because we cannot play with our lives anymore. That is where most of the meat that we are eating comes from. So if that is where we are getting meat, and the place is unhygienic, then there's a very, very big problem.
A very big problem.
I want to thank the commissioner for doing this, for taking it up. Because if not, we have just left it and say, okay, fine. At some point, if you remember, some people were trying to bring in ethnic coloration into it.
Yes, exactly.
For something that is as basic as just keeping your environment clean, and not just keeping, but making sure that the environment is clean every time.
Maintaining basic health standards.
I think we must also note that before it was shut down, the ministry under Tokunboh, they had written several letters to them. They have gone there to warn them, to caution them that you need to improve on the hygiene of it. At a point of time, they chased environmental officials away from the place. So it had to take force for them to shut it down, and now before they now complied.
Now, another thing is the abattoirs in Lagos. Can we say that they also have the same standard, not just Okwoba that they shut down? Can we say that there is this even standard when it comes to hygiene level across all abattoirs in Lagos?
No, you see, it's because we are talking about Okwoba today.
Yes.
The one at Kara and some other places is the same thing. So, if I ask, the one at Kara, they discharge straight into that Ogun River that flows into Opik and other places. They discharge straight there.
I think enforcement should be even.
Of course.
Enforcement should be even.
But then, that of Kara now, I don't know whether it's under Lagos or Ogun State. Because it's neither here nor there. Whether
it's in between.
It's in between. So
then this is where the Ogun State government really needs to do something.
That is so. So the authorities of both Lagos and Ogun should see to a hygienic abattoir at Kara Market, not just at Okwoba. I mean, kudos to the Ministry of the Environment for doing a human's job there. But then, rather than wait for a monthly stuff, I think they should even have sanitary officials or environmental officials stationed right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Okay, not just going there every Thursday.
To monitor whether they should have a post in that place. They should have like a mini station, like you have mini police or mini banks in that. If the volume of transaction that goes on in that place will wow you.
I know.
So we need to put to have a closer monitoring of what goes on in that abattoir.
All right, just on the final note, if going forward and something like this happens again, are we just saying just shut down or tougher punishment?
No, I think the people there, the operators now understand the language of the government.
It's no longer business as usual.
Exactly.
Once you violate our regulations, we'll shut you down, because you can't begin to pick anybody. It is going to be total. It's total shutdown. Not that we'll say, Section A, you didn't clean. So it is left for the leaders of the markets now to ensure that every section in the market is kept clean.
I agree.
Nothing more.
I agree. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation, shall we? As the race to the 2027 election gets hotter, alliances are being forged while gladiators are putting proposals on the table to remain relevant in the scheme of things. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, has submitted a proposal for a single-term presidency to the opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 elections. The move signals a strategic pivot and a call for deeper unity. Obi has, however, made it clear that he does not require more than 4 years to transform the country and rescue its economy from collapse. As such, he is committing himself to serve only one tenure. Okay, Majid, let's begin this way. First of all, what do you make of Peter Obi's declaration and intention, proposing a single term of 4 years? And what do you think is the reason for proposing a single term presidency?
Yeah, Dr. Yunusa Tanko is the coordinator of
The Obedient.
the Obedience International Movement. So, he addressed a press conference where he disclosed yesterday that Peter Obi, the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate, has submitted a 4-year single tenure proposal to the coalition. I mean, saying that, yes, they don't require more than 4 years to fix all the problems we are facing in Nigeria, including power, security, and I say kudos for that. But where the challenges would be now is the 4-year single term proposal was not submitted to Labour Party. It was submitted to the coalition. ADC, that has a David Mark as potent chairman now, and Ogbeni Rauf
as national secretary,
and Egbeshola as national secretary, and with gladiators like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
I like the way you emphasize that.
And Malam Nasir El Rufai, as well as
Rotimi Amechi as well.
Chibuike Rotimi Amechi. You know, I'm calling it in full so that people can understand what we have at stake. Now, Atiku wants to be president, and he knows that at 80, I mean, what's Atiku's age now?
It's going close to 80.
Yeah,
close to
79 or so.
Close to, by 2027, Atiku will be 80. He knows this is about his last chance to run. El Rufai too wants to run. Amechi too wants to run, because they are looking at a situation where if the coalition decides that, yes, we'll zone to the south, it won't be Obi, because Obi is a late comer to the coalition. And Obi is very, very smart. I give it to him. Quickly, he has given them a kind of carrot that is difficult to refuse. Guys,
were you surprised that he just did it just on social media, on X?
See, that is where his supporters are. And are we not talking about it here now? It's been everywhere in the news. So, he didn't need a world press conference to do that. How do Trump address his people? He goes on X and just throw it there. And Elon Musk too replies on X.
So you think that there is a particular reason? Is there a reason for the single-term president?
He's selling a gambit. He's saying that, yes, guys, within him, he is smart. And he's telling the North that, yes, Tinubu is finishing his 4 years now. Now,
the second leg
of the he can compete with him.
I say he's maybe respecting the power sharing formula.
No. What he's trying to say is that he's saying that, guys, yes, even if it's Tinubu that wins 2027, if you vote for me, I will do just one term. I won't extend
my term.
My term to 2 terms so
that
the
power can go back
to the north. So that's the message.
Still talking about the power share.
Yes, that's the message he's sending to them.
Do you think? Do you agree with him that he's just showing respect with that single-term presidency, just to show respect to that about the power sharing formula, or is this a strategic attempt to unify the opposition, around a fresh reform agenda?
Which reform agenda are you talking, Benga? This is somebody who everybody, see, for somebody to come and say, I'm just doing one time in Nigeria, that he can change Nigeria in 4 years. You begin to ask, check his antecedents first. He had almost 8 years when he was in
Anambra.
Just Anambra 8 years old, we are not just one small state.
He couldn't build it.
And he had money. That was even when Nigeria was even getting more money. We didn't have the problems that we are having now. We have not. I can't count up any particular idea that you say that, oh, he did this.
No, he invested in Euro.
He did this, and then the previous government afterwards are still enjoying from that. Let's start to be, realistic as Nigerians, for crying out loud. I'm not saying he doesn't have the right for him to contest or for him, but making this proposal shows some level of desperation, and that is my problem with him. His obedient movement might not like what I'm saying, because I feel that
single-term tenure is a sign of desperation on his part.
Completely. If you know that you have your movement, okay. This is a coalition that has not even started. Okay, now they have a party. So now he's a member of the ADC. That is what he's saying. Yeah. So obedient movement have now moved.
He's still a member of the Labour Party.
No. This
part of this coalition
was submitted to the coalition.
All right, we're still going to get to that part. But now, he promised stability in 2 years. Stability, is he saying... I mean, how realistic is this? Because, politicians promise a lot of things and they don't fulfill. But how realistic is this? Talk to me. Do you believe him?
I've not seen the full context of his proposal. Okay. But from the snippets shared by Dr. Tanko,
he said something about...
the
power supply.
Stabilizing power supply.
Electricity.
Okay. Electricity.
Exporting.
Then that the planes will not be leaving Nigeria empty. So he said planes. He didn't say vessels. He said planes will not be leaving Nigeria empty. So is it plane that they use to export things from Nigeria? You see, Obi should come to Nigerians in a very straightforward manner. Nigerians are smarter than what Obi is telling. And you see, talk is very cheap. You don't win an election by merely trying to spoil your opposition. The electorates are quite wise now.
Okay.
If you, the same people who said Jonathan must go, they are rooting for Jonathan today to come back. People are shouting that Buhari didn't do anything. Now some of them are saying, during Buhari, things were better than now. If Tinubu leaves after 4 years or 8 years, if another person comes, people will still shout that, we are complaining about Tinubu.
Exactly.
If Jesus Christ or Prophet Muhammad comes to rule Nigeria, the moment they leave, another person comes, even if the devil comes, they will say, those people that left. So we are programmed like that. We are wired like that. So for Obi knows how to play with words, and now it's becoming clearer that most of the things Peter Obi says, he just says it. I mean,
because he knows that people that
Ganduje resigned,
some gullible people.
So you think he's just saying things Nigerians want to hear?
Yes. Ganduje resigned from APC, and you are clapping for him. What is your business with APC? Must you respond to everything? So for Peter Obi, he should choose his words and be focused. He must have a clear agenda, a pathway through which he wants to get to this presidency. And
I like that part.
Yeah,
I like that part. Because do you think Peter Obi is over-promising and not realistic with some of the things he said? Because he said he promised stability. Are we saying, are we going to have single-digit inflation? Are we saying maybe Naira will get stronger to the dollar? I mean, do you think he's making promises he can't keep?
You know, the thing is talk is cheap. You don't understand.
Okay.
And then the thing is, like I keep saying, I am not against opposition. But my own is that if you want to play opposition, tell me the alternatives. What are the alternatives? This so-called subsidy, fuel subsidy.
Yes.
He was the one, remember, he said he was going to remove subsidy from day one. Day one. When they asked him again, he said, oh, he didn't say immediately. What is day one? What is immediately? You know, mixing words.
He said it was going to be phased.
Phased.
Okay, in phases.
Later.
Phases, yeah. Later.
But remember, he was saying from day one.
Yeah.
No, now he now said, no, it's going to be phased.
And he also talked about floating of the Naira.
Yes. You said it, I was going to float the Naira. So this government is doing that. So now I'm beginning to wonder, okay, this opposition, what will they be telling me that will be different? And that is what I want Nigerians to begin to look at. Okay, these are the key things that were keeping us in darkness before. Okay. This man has now opened our eyes to see, okay, this is where money should have been coming, and then he's pushing this money to different sectors at different places. Now, if I want to come as alternative, what will he be telling me?
The practicability of it.
Obi said, okay, he's going to tell us about electricity. I'm not saying you shouldn't give me 24 hours electricity, but how are you going to make sure that I'll be paying cheaper electricity? I want to pay cheaper electricity. So you tell me.
Okay.
So you said something about exports, and you're telling me about planes flying. Okay, so if I finish my tomatoes, so your planes, or is it going to give us planes that will be taking tomatoes to America or to UK? How is it going to do it? And because they are going to export. So he's talking about exports.
I mean, increase production.
The planes will export cocoa.
And then when they are coming back, what are they going to bring?
Okay, now.
Cashew nuts.
We need to be, so the thing is, let him be realistic. I want him to be realistic, and I want his supporters to also ask him realistic questions, not for him to beat around the bush, but tell us, okay, fine, you said electricity, how will you do it? If he says, oh, I'm going to give you 25 megawatts as Nigeria, how will you do it? Yeah. And don't forget, not just how, okay, you're going to do it, but don't forget we still have discos. We have
remember I traveled to Egypt, I think in 2020,
of course, yes, all those things. There's nothing that either Buhari or even this government have not done to see how they can better the power. But we still have the electricity sector has a value chain. So Nigerians will ask critical questions. It's not just about them turning themselves into ADC, ADA, anything they want to call themselves. But the thing is, I want this election should be more about ideas. More about, okay, fine, you have alternative. What is the alternative? Yeah. That is the only thing. I'm not opposing to anybody that wants to be opposition. But what is your alternative? If your alternative is not what I want, I have a reason to say, okay, fine, I can choose whoever I want. And they shouldn't be, because most times when Obi is talking, his obedient movement will want to bring you down. This is democracy. Democracy is about freedom of speech. I should be able to express myself. And that is why we are giving him the opportunity to go and present his proposal to our ADC. Because it's not ADA again, it's not even coalition again. Yes. It's not ADC.
All right, let's do a little political calculation, okay? Because do you think Peter Obi can still marshal the required number of votes to win without joining the coalition?
Well,
do you think he can? Do you think he still? Because he had 6 million votes.
No, I like that question.
Yes.
If Obi runs under Labour Party today, under Labour Party as a presidential candidate, he will still get his 6 million votes. All the votes in the southeast, he will grab it. He will have some substantial votes in Lagos, in Edo, and he will pick some from some Christian-dominated states here and there, just like he did in 2023. If he runs under the platform of the Labour Party. But now, if it comes to ADC, I doubt if he can emerge as the presidential candidate of the ADC.
Because there are lots of gladiators there.
But if, peradventure, because with an Atiku there, an Atiku has ambition, will Atiku concede the presidency,
his ambition?
Ambition to that of Obi? That's the number one question. Will an El-Rufai accept a Peter Obi as presidential candidate, knowing fully well that he is coming, he is very authoritarian, he is coming, the moment you make him presidential candidate of ADC, he's going to dominate, he's going to come with his own structure.
Yes,
so the labor of El-Rufai, Amechi, and
even
Atiku will be in vain. That is Obi. He ran Labour Party with his obedient movement structure. And that's why the party is in this arena. So, if he wins, if he gets the ticket of the ADC, then he might have additional 2 million votes. He can move up to 8 million.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he can move up to 8 million. But that is if, and the questions are there. Will Atiku come under, and will ADC even accept that his proposal of one-term tenure? So these are some of the questions. It's, and 2027 is still a long time, but things are manageable. Then I think I must commend the coalition, the leaders of the coalition movement.
Okay.
Because they gave a hint when they saw that it would be difficult for them
to register
a
new party.
Ada, whether as Adama or Adaobi. They saw that they had a fallback position in ADC or SDP, but now they have chosen ADC. And immediately, the leaders of the ADC as a party, they have subsumed themselves by electing, or rather by conceding to David Mark as pro-tem chairman, and Ogbeni Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola as the secretary. So it's going to be very interesting. You can see them. Kudos, because now APC will sit tight. They will know that it is no longer business as usual. Because we need a violent opposition.
Exactly.
And also it will send signals to PDP that as some people
that's
claim,
what I wanted to say, because PDP is still
all
there.
Right, gentlemen.
PDP is in intensive care units now with multi-organ misfunction.
No, but I think it's starting to form now. Okay, now that they've sorted out the issue of Summer Lion. But that's a conversation for another day. We need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still Journalist Hangout.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, good day. These are the news headlines, to Pidgin.
Better country people, on a good evening.
Yoruba, Ekaro, Ekudede Asikoyi, Shidadalabayi, Igbo,
Ndewo, Auto Innovation, Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro,
and Hausa.
Mutane na sanar da zuwa, sunana Rakia Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you. Faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am
here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Majid Jamil right here and Atiku James. Now, in just rounding off this conversation on Peter Obi, do you think this public declaration is just a signal, you know, to distance himself from, you know, that talk of Atiku Obi joint ticket? Do you think it's just a signal just to distance himself from, just in 1 minute? Okay, Atiku, you sir, just in 1 minute.
The thing is, if Peter Obi should say he wants to be a vice presidential candidate today, he won't get that vote that Moji just said.
The 8 million.
He can never get it. And then, even the Southeast will not give him that. Because the thing is, the Southeast, they want a presidential candidate. They are not looking for vice presidential candidate. So he will lose votes. So Obi has to measure his steps well. He's dealing with politicians. So the people that are doing the coalition, they are core politicians.
Very core politicians.
To him, he might just be somewhere doing a Twitter space, thinking that everybody is happy. Those ones are looking at him. When the real time comes, that is when he will now know politicking. Because right now, they are still in this. And the thing is like he has sold his soul to the coalition. Okay. They already know him. They have seen everything about him.
All right.
He has started dancing naked in front of the coalition, and they are looking at him.
Just in 1 minute 30 or 30 seconds.
Obi might end up not getting any ticket in 2027 because now he has left Labour and given proposal to ADC. And ADC will see
him as...
he has
unofficially left Labour?
Of course, if you are submitting a proposal to the coalition, what is the coalition? The coalition is ADC. They know that this man is an opportunist. You have dumped Labour. Okay. So it will be difficult. He might not get any ticket. Labour will not take him back. By the time it might be too late for him to even go back to Labour.
All right, then time will tell. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. The deadly terrorist causing pain for many Nigerians are now getting bloody noses from the military following sustained onslaughts. The Defense Headquarters has confirmed the elimination of a notorious terrorist kingpin, Yellow Dambokolo, linked to multiple attacks and atrocities across Northeast Zone. Dambokolo, feared for years as a ruthless commander within terrorist ranks, was reportedly injured during an encounter and died on Monday, the 30th of June, from the wound he sustained. Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters had unveiled a fleet of 84 compressed natural gas CNG-powered vehicle designed to reduce fuel costs and carbon emissions, improve mobility, reduce logistical strain, and ensure more effective deployment of troops and resources across difficult terrains. I mean, Asuko, congratulations to our armed forces, for taking out Yellow Dambokolo. But do you think the death of Yellow Dambokolo brings Nigeria closer to security and peace?
Well, it's just one step.
One step?
Because with the death of a major leader, it will decimate, the other his members, because most of them will now be, they don't have any major leader anymore. So they will be looking at, okay, so what next? Do we now reach out to the government for us to, surrender? Okay. Because if they say they want to start another start another group.
Okay. Okay.
Definitely, the Nigerian army will deal with them and will eliminate them. And this is the good news we want to be hearing, because we cannot at this stage begin to, pander to all these people, taking communities, killing our children and our women for no just reasons. And this guy has been doing this in Sokoto and Zamfara as this for a very long time, even using drugs. Sometimes when I see some of these bandits, some people will be following them. Some of them, what is fueling their drugs. And that is why the NDLEA the other day was saying most times when you see these bandits and kidnappers, what you normally see is that most of them are into drugs, serious drugs. that you will begin to wonder how can somebody who is normal and sane be in the forest. You understand? So good that the Nigerian army is taking the battle to them, and the person I would gladly want to see that they eliminate, if possible, not even to catch, but eliminate, is that Bello Tuji. Because the guy has been causing havoc in that area.
Some have argued that this yellow Dambakolo was, you know,
yeah, they said it was more deadlier.
Yeah,
you know, because he was, you know, there was a time we heard that he actually killed some people, burnt people alive, some passengers, exactly. You know, so it shows how deadlier and how deadly he is. But the thing is, he's gone now. You are looking for another person that has been giving us headache, which is that Bello Toji, and any other bandit that is taking over communities in Nigeria. Because we need to flush these guys out of our system. We need to, because part of the things that is making our country not develop, especially the northern, some parts in the north, is because these guys have turned themselves into another government.
Absolutely.
You know, so the best thing, you can't have a government inside the government, and so the Nigerian army must deal with them, including police. Because internal security is left for police.
I mean, we forget that where is the police in all of this? They are in charge of internal security.
Yes, internal security. So the Nigerian police, I know they have tactical units, good squad that can also deal with these people. So when once the soldiers are able to clear these guys off, and they are trying to, because we don't want a situation whereby we will begin to have military bases in every state and in every corner in Nigeria. What we should be having should be police stations.
Absolutely.
You know, police stations that so that when people know that there's a police station here, they will have confidence, not military bases.
Okay.
You know.
All right. I mean, now that yellow Dambakolo, you know, has been taken out, how significant is this, you know, in wider context in the fight against terrorism, especially in the Northwest?
Yes. What we are seeing, first of all, let me say kudos to our security operatives.
Yes.
Who were able to, in a combined military operation, eliminate this My Dada. His name is My Dada. His appellation is Yellow Bukobo, one funny name.
Dambokolo.
Dambokolo. So, it's each time we record this
Dambakolo.
Yeah, each time we record this level of a strategic success against the bandits. I think we need to commend our officers and men.
From the NSA,
exactly. Which is very. I mean, it boosts their morale.
True.
I mean, to even do more.
Do more.
This character has been terrorizing the whole of
the Northwest.
The Northwest. I mean, especially Samfara Sokoto, as himself and Bello Toji. And I know his day will come very, very soon, very time. Because there is no way terrorists can defeat the state. It's not possible. No matter how smart they think they are, no matter how well fortified they are, the long arms of the law will catch up with them. So kudos. And we need to sustain the operations, this kind of success rate, by continue to make sure that we bombard them and we overpower them to submission. Because we must not relax now, because for this loss that they have suffered, they might want to regroup and come and launch a counter-attack to show that you guys killed our leader. We have appointed a new leader who wants to show that he is even tougher than, I mean, like we have seen in the past. So we should not over-celebrate. Don't let our case be like that of the Super Eagles. Each time they win a semi-final game, they will go and party so well that thinking that
the final will be a walkover.
They end up losing.
And they get surprised. All right, let's look at the other part of the conversation. I mean, the DHQ has acquired CNG vehicles. You know, what strategic advantage do you think these CNG-powered vehicles have to offer the Nigerian military, you know, especially in those areas when it comes to cost saving, when it comes to operational efficiency?
And I think it's more about operations, you know, and costs. Because, for instance, the cost of fuel, that is petrol or diesel, you know, will reduce. And now we are talking about green and cleaner energy.
Sure.
You understand? And I know that this administration, that is what they've been doing, you know. So with the CNG, the PCNGI, okay. So, and that is where the collaboration is. So most companies and most governments are beginning to look at, you know, this particular initiative. I know even in TVC here, we are using some of our trucks.
Some of our trucks,
you know,
yes.
they are on CNG, you know. So people are embracing it. It's something that would have done way back. But now that the government has said that, okay, this can be an alternative, that is what I tell you about alternatives. If this is, you know, gulping your budget, your money, look for something cheaper that is like an alternative. So many companies are into it. So even the Nigerian army or the military, they are, you know, looking at this, looking at CNG. It is just for operations. I don't want to believe that that is what they want to use when they are going to for, you know, to deal with bandits. But it should just be within, you know, the operations where maybe around Abuja, around, you know, their, you know, military bases and all that, but not the real war front, you know. And not just this, we can also encourage that they have stations built in in their offices, because there's one thing for you to have CNG, there's another thing for you to have stations to fill, you know, because we need to have that in place. Not that just giving them vehicles, CNG vehicles, and at the end of the day, tomorrow you see that in the backyard, the vehicles are all packed.
I mean, as beautiful as this may sound, cost saving, he talked about, but he talked about something very, very important. Can CNG vehicles, you know, function optimally in rugged terrains, conflict zones, especially in the northeast, the northwest, you know?
CNG vehicles are even more efficient than the conventional vehicles.
Rugged terrains?
So it's the same vehicle.
It's a tank.
It's the same thing. It's just the tank that is different.
And the tank.
You know, because I feel like there's some for diesel engines, you know, diesel.
No, they can't. There's no one that you can't.
Yeah, whether it is diesel or petrol. See, if you service a petrol or diesel powered engine after every 5,000 kilometers, you only need to service a CNG powered vehicle after every 10,000 kilometers. 10,000. Because of the clean energy that goes into the engine. That's one advantage. Then, if you spend 10,000 naira, for example, on a petrol or diesel-powered engine to fuel it for X number of kilometers, with CNG, you are spending only 2,000 naira. So, in terms of operation and maintenance, it is a win-win. Maintenance in terms of the number of times you need to service in a year will reduce from probably 3 or 2 to just 1 because of the clean energy that goes into your engine. And also, in terms of the cost of operation, you are reducing it by at least 20%. No, sorry, by at least 50%. So, because where you are spending 10,000, you are now spending just 2,000 naira. So, it is massive. But then, like Azuko said, I hope they have made enough provision for
CNG
service stations that deploys CNG. Very, very important. But like, I think they should partner with Dangote and NNPC. Because Dangote, for example, is deploying 4,000 CNG powered trucks at the cost of 720 billion naira. And if you travel along Lagos, Ibadan, for example, by the time you are getting to Mowe, you'll see the fleet of those CNG powered trucks queuing to the fuel, CNG, at some filling stations. So the same thing if you get to Abuja. So I think they must have a partnership with the PCNGI, the Presidential Committee on the Natural Gas Initiative. So that they can have a seamless transition to full.
In other words, all at this table, we all support military switch to CNG-powered vehicles as a step towards energy reform and cost efficiency? Yes or no?
No,
it's
just a yes.
It's a yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Good. All right. Let's move straight to our next conversation. Another socio-political storm is gathering in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, following the controversy trailing the demolition of the memorial park built in honor of the victims of the June 5, 2022 massacre at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. This time, the move by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to probe the death of his predecessor, Rotimi Akeredolu SAN, has ignited fierce opposition and warnings against what many call an unnecessary and inflammatory act. The alleged move, which could involve the exhumation of the late governor's remains for further investigation, has triggered widespread backlash from political leaders, traditional rulers, and civil society groups. They warned that it threatens to reopen emotional wounds and destabilize fragile peace in the state. I mean, Majid, I'll start with you. First of all, what do you make of Governor Aiyedatiwa's plan to probe the death of former Governor Akeredolu? I mean, what exactly is Governor Aiyedatiwa's administration seeking to uncover with this probe?
This is a very, very low point from Governor Aiyedatiwa. Akeredolu died almost
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Everybody knew that he died of cancer. I mean, it was a protracted ailment that eventually led to his death, which he benefited from. If you are having any issue with the wife, I mean, because what people are insinuating is that they are trying to indict the wife as having a hand in the death of the husband because of the way Mrs. Betsy Akeredolu has been attacking the Aiyedatiwa.
So you think it's political?
It is very political. I don't think the governor should even think about this. And another, I mean, rather than do this, it should find a way of mediating with the family, or rather reconciling with the family of the former governor. And also, Mrs. Betsy Akeredolu should behave like a stateswoman and should respect the memory of the husband. I mean, how can you be casting aspersions on the traditional institution of Owo to the extent of our kingdom, to the extent that they are now doing sort of like a traditional sacrifice against her? She should be mindful. I think people close to her should caution her that she should allow the dead to lie and accept that Akeredolu died when God said it. Why is Mrs. Ajimobi not doing the same? I think that woman, some people should talk to her and counsel her that you can't be attacking the government, you can't be attacking the traditional institution, you can't be attacking a race that gave you that husband and those beautiful children.
Absolutely.
It is a no-no. And to the governor too, he shouldn't descend low when people are taking him low. When people are trying to take you low, then you rise up and be up there.
I mean, Asuko, is probing the death of a former governor, I mean, months or years after burial, is this a moral obligation, or does it go against some sort of cultural or societal norm?
No. I think even when I heard it, I was like, what is this one? Even the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice was even trying to justify that they got petition to exhume a former governor.
I mean, there are questions.
No, listen.
So you don't think those questions need to be answered?
There are some things that are just unthinkable.
Just allow some things to lie.
Let the dead rest.
Was there no postmortem when he died?
You know, the thing is, why didn't he, if at all they wanted to do this, why didn't he do before the burial? Everybody knows that Aketi died of cancer. Everybody knows. That of Betty, I think MG has already dealt with it, because I don't know what's wrong with the woman. But the thing is, she should just let everything go. Your husband was a fantastic man. Everybody loved him. In fact, I'm not sure there's anybody, there's any APC today that will not doff their hats for him. How he stood for this president, for the president.
Yeah.
So he left a legacy that everybody admires. So for the governor, I don't want to believe that the governor will want to come out to follow this route that people are pushing him to.
It's an inglorious route.
Don't even go there. Face governance.
We have better things to do with governance.
Face governance. The people in Ondo State are not interested in, because they know that, oh, Aketi has come and gone. It is your turn. It is your own legacy that people will look at. So they are not going to look at, oh, whether you exhume somebody's body to check, to do autopsy.
So the petitions and the questions raised should just be ignored.
He is the governor. He has the right, the power to say, you know what, Attorney General say, okay, we are not interested in the matter. And then the thing will go. We are not. Let him face the people. The people who gave him this mandate for him to come to take continue from where Aketi stuff. Those are the people that he should be thinking of, not somebody, some petition somewhere. Even they didn't even disclose the name of the people that wrote the petition. So discard it and face people. If people don't have light, do you think they are interested in exhuming somebody's body? If they don't have good roads, if they don't have hospitals, if they don't have good schools, that is what the governors should be interested in. Not to exhume the body of somebody who even brought you into limelight. So please, the governor should be serious, please. We shouldn't be looking, because now the state is divided. If there's a chaos in the state, what do you do? So the governor should sit down and begin to think about governance first. Not all these things.
I mean, what was the reaction by the Akeredolu family and associates concerning this matter? What does this reveal about the political climate in Ondo State?
It's just showing that the Akeredolu Aketi family, they are not happy with Ayedatiwa. Because that's rather the Akeredolu, the Aketi political family.
Okay.
They believe that, I mean, it's been, they have been ostracized, they have been packed aside, they are not, quote unquote, carried along in the day-to-day runnings of political activities in the state. So they are aggrieved. And in their being aggrieved, the wife has a personal axe to grind with the governor. So it's like in twofold. While the wife is also attacking the traditional institution, and the wife is even in a battle with the family of the husband on one hand. So the political, then the Aketi political dynasty is in a battle
with the traditional.
With the governor.
With the governor. Oh.
So it's like a three-way thing now. So that's why the governor should rather face governance and give what is due to the political dynasty of Aketi. Yes. That is the normal thing to do.
I guess the elders in Ondo State really need to call both parties.
Or even the president might need to
I think the president has to intervene.
The president cannot intervene in everything.
No.
He just wanted Rivers.
The president intervened in Rivers.
No, the president intervened when it was to be impeached.
Yes, exactly.
So let's bear that. I think this thing will still go back to the president, because now this is really getting messy.
Because it's getting messy.
It's getting messy.
It is getting
because
messy.
I saw a video of where they were chanting incantations. I mean, on Betty.
Yes, I saw the video
It's abominable. That shouldn't have happened.
On one individual, the whole race.
Yes. How would Aketi be feeling in his grave now, with all he has put into the struggle for democracy in Nigeria, albeit in Ondo State? So,
all right,
the governor should show some maturity, and people should also talk to Betty Akeredolu. She should stop all these social media posts and keep quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
All right then.
She's above 70, for crying out loud.
So she should
it's a fine place for us to leave. It's a very emotional one. Asukwa James, thank you so much. Appreciate you for doing this with us. And Majid, thank you so much.
Thank you, Benga.
And that's it. I miss him already. And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga Oresheg. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.